Your bio says you started doing things when you were two.
Yes.
I mean, it's hard for all of us to remember that. Do you even remember that? When's your first earliest, memory of playing or doing something?
I would say my earliest memory, I can't remember it to like a full extent.
Right.
I remember like bits and pieces here and there of my first piano recital. It was May of 2004. I was 3.
And you do remember some of it.
Like bits and pieces of it, yeah.
Do you even remember what you played?
No.
Okay. Well, at least you remember you were there.
Yes. I remember like the feeling of being shy, like having like a little bit of stage fright.
At
But
3.
what I played, no, I don't
Sorry,
remember.
Mom, I'm having stage fright here. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
You're 3. You're 3.
Yeah. I was 3.
You obviously realized at a very early age that you had the music bug,
Hmm.
disease, that if you get it, it's with you the rest of your life. It never goes away.
Yeah.
Um, but I think the other thing too, that after reading all this wonderful comments about you, that you didn't take the path. Well, you took the path of a lot of people, but you started out. What was your first main instrument you played? Didn't you play clarinet or something like that? Or did I read that? Or what did you play? Kind of the
Hmm.
main instrument that you started on.
I started on piano
Okay.
when I was 2. My parents had actually put me in piano lessons very, very young. It was actually them that realized at first that I had the music bug.
Yeah.
Um, I love telling the story. It all started, I guess they were just watching me or like, doing parent stuff around the house, and I was watching Sesame Street. And I had started replicating all of these rhythms and melodies from the songs from the show. And my parents were watching this and they were like, yep, we need to put her in piano lessons.
Mm.
So piano was my first instrument.
But then as you grew older, you started playing other instruments. I mean,
Yeah,
usually I would look at it from somebody like me that I can sit here and play a little piano. I could play any string instrument basically, but that
mm,
come with skill set from doing the other. You started earlier, I think, in going to different instruments because piano to a wind instrument, it's completely different.
I think clarinet was my fourth instrument. I like to count singing as an instrument. That came
Oh,
shortly after
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
playing piano. Then I learned guitar, and then I picked up clarinet in my last half of intermediate school and middle school. I was in my like both schools band. So,
What is still your favorite instrument to play?
probably the keytar. I love the keytar.
That's kind
That
of
is
a
my
cool thing.
favorite
Yeah.
instrument. Yeah.
And you played that when I saw you that night. I believe you
Yeah.
did. Isn't that the one you hold up and play? It's got the thing on it.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it back here actually. It's like just sitting here.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yep.
Yeah, this is my keytar. My favorite instrument.
It's kind it's kind of big.
It's heavy. Believe
Now,
me.
who makes that? Who's the manufacturer on that? Is that a
Um,
Roland? It's not a Roland, is it?
yeah, it's a Roland. It's a
Okay.
Roland. Right.
Yeah. I figured as much. They're the ones that doing stuff like that. They've been around doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then as you progressed, because you were so young at so many things, and I read this, but when did you start recording and you said, "Oh, I need to do an EP or something like that?" I mean,
Mm.
you had to start writing your own music, but you were
I
young,
ooh. I was around 11, 12 when I really got into like the process of what it was like to be an artist
right?
recording an EP. And when I was 13, I had dropped my first EP, Thankful. I think it was in like September. It's not on platforms. I took it down. I might put it back up one day, but I took it
I know
down.
why you took it down too.
I mean, I was young and
Sure.
the writing at the time, it was just so innocent, so sweet, and my voice
I was
sounds
gonna say your voice has changed probably
perfect.
a lot.
Yeah, I was definitely in pop star mode at the time. But um but yeah, I started that like whole recording process like in my preteens.
Yeah, I was thinking about this when I saw something about right about you. Are you a Prince fan?
I am such a Prince fan.
When you said your favorite, and of course I know stuff goes in the bio. Said your favorite color is purple. I said I bet you he's a Prince fan too.
I am such a Prince fan. Purple Rain is my favorite movie of all time. I love that movie religiously.
You got into, at a very young age doing a lot of music. When was the time when somebody said, "Oh, I think you're really good, and I think you need to go to the next level"? In other words, I wouldn't say you were discovered. Maybe you do say you're discovered,
Mhm.
but you were doing sync librarying stuff. I mean, you've done a lot. You've done some sync stuff, haven't you, to TV or commercials and things like that? Have you done some of that too? Where the music's gone to places like that?
Um, Sync specifically, no,
Okay,
but um partnering with brands, yes.
okay. When you're approached by a company, was it an agency that approached you, or was it the company itself?
Are you talking about like in general or for AT&T?
Well, in general, I guess my question is, you'd put some music out, and you'd been
Mhm.
doing a lot of good things. So somebody had to hear your music somewhere. So I
Yeah.
don't know whether people was pushing it out for you or somebody, because there's a lot of music out there.
With most of my partnerships with brands, most of it has come from them finding me from posting content. And it
Right.
would be like a various of things like some memes here and there on music theory, or me sharing my arrangements of covers, sharing my music as well, emphasizing, hey, I'm a music artist, this is my music, you should check me out. But most of it would come from them finding me. As far as AT&T goes for um, my piece that is for my piece that plays for one of their venues, the Windspear Opera House,
Mm.
that was actually through a small competition where
Oh,
AT&T partnered up with Booker T, and this was my senior year.
that was your high school you went to, yeah.
Yeah, the high school I went to, Booker T Washington High School for the Performing and Visual Arts. Gotta say the full title, you know? Uh,
When did you discover that? I mean, how would you figure that out I mean, is it something in school you did, or how did that come about?
I honestly, from what I've read when I first discovered the concept of perfect pitch, absolute pitch, I, I think it's merely just I think being born with it.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're absolutely true. It's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
gift.
and I mean it's something that I've yeah, it's something that just I've always had, you know? So I think it's just in a means of being born with it.
Yeah. What do you do when you first come up with an idea? Are you a melody person, or you just come up with a couple of things like, oh, I like this? Do you like to play it on your, what do you, when you start writing a mu song, you comes up with an idea. Is it on your keyboards, your guitar? What do you usually start out with?
It usually depends, but if I were to give it a like a percentage scale,
Hmm.
70% of the time the first thing I touch is the keyboard to figure out like melody and chords simultaneously. Um the other 30, I sometimes log in a melodic idea lyrically.
Hmm.
Like I might have like a hook line in my head, or maybe even a verse, quite rarely a bridge, but I record it, internalize it, and then see where it goes from there.
Do
But
you
it's
ever,
mostly like touching the keys.
so most of the stuff, do you ever out and about and then pull your phone out and go, oh, I got an idea? Do you ever, I mean, just, yeah.
Pulling out that was a voice memo
Yeah.
instantly. Or the notes app, if I hear words but not melody, type it down. Yeah.
Because if you don't, the next day you go, what was that thing oh, I forgot it. Because
Exactly.
it'll disappear from you.
I'm a very forgetful person, so I gotta log it in instantly any way that I can.
As good as you are, what's your goal now? I mean, you got your degree at a wonderfully, I mean, come on, Berkeley. And I used to think, well, they talk about Berkeley, that's a university, and they didn't realize it's Berkeley Music School because they have one on the East
Yeah.
Coast too. What's kind of your goal now with your music?
I I have many goals as far as my personal artistry.
Hmm.
I am currently working on kind of shifting the gears a bit and taking a new approach with a new project that I am working on, which I will be announcing soon on all of my social platforms. But I will still be, writing music, producing music and stuff like that. Um, as a composer, I'm always looking for all kinds of opportunities to put myself more out there as a composer. I mean, previous to now, I've scored a movie, I've scored a TV show, and I'm I'll still be looking and finding a lot more opportunities within the same realm as that. Um, as a performer, I mean, I still have this goal of, I'm gonna just continue to post. I'll reshare like, what I do here at home, like repurposing content from like a live stream show. Oh, I didn't even mention. So, previous now, every I think Monday, Friday of last year, I hosted like a live streaming show called Loopcore Live, where
Okay.
where I think like a good hour and a half, I just live loop right on camera. It'd be like a mix of originals and covers and stuff like that. And from repurposing that content on all my platforms, I've been able to land quite a few gigs out here in Dallas. I am manifesting a potential tour. We're manifesting.
Ooh,
We're manifesting.
ooh.
We are we are believing in it. We are telling ourselves, I will get a tour. I will get a
You know,
tour.
I like that. But on your tour, would you be by yourself? I mean, was it you're going to do a solo or are you going to, if you're manifesting this in your brain, are you expecting people to come along with you and perform with you, or how do you see that?
Honestly, yes. I love playing with a band. The feeling is so, I mean, yeah, the feeling is so different from like playing with a band and then playing by yourself.
Mm,
When I am performing by myself, I love it. I enjoy it. I get
yeah.
to go on stage and dance to my heart's content. I get to, have all this free space to just kind of be loose and be myself. But with being with a band and like being surrounded by so many like-minded people and friends that love music like you do, like the energy is just so much different, you
Oh
know?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would love to bring a band along. Yeah. It was actually one of my first things that I like needed to get done as soon as I got on campus. As soon as I got to Berkeley,
You wanted a band.
I was like, I need to start a band immediately. So I'm like scoping around. I'm seeing everybody I've met so far, and
Because
within
you know they're all good players or they wouldn't be there, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I was like, you know what? Let me just find them. And then within a week, I found them.
Wow.
And I still call them up for gigs because I've known them for like 5 years now. I think three of them. Yeah, I've known for like 5 years.
When people ask you this, I know this is not easy. I know people, it's when people ask you, what do you play? What kind of genre do you play? What do you tell them? I mean, I saw, you know, a little bit. Is there any way you can tell? I mean, so let's just go back. You're a freshman at Berkeley looking
Mhm.
for a band. You had to go up to them and tell them something, or do you just say, "Hey, listen to what I play," and then, you know,
The other funny thing about it is that when I was forming that band, I was also looking for people for a gig that I had landed in New York. as soon as I was up there. It was like it was happening that following November of 2019.
Wow.
And this was also all happening like immediately after I had dropped my third studio album on my birthday, October 4th. The Whole Truth. And at the time, I was telling people, oh, I'm a pop jazz R&B artist.
Yeah.
And with that whole album, I recorded it in a studio with a band. Like we were all tracking out. I told I had a guitar player, had a bass player, I had drums. I know one song on that album I played everything except drums. I still have yet to learn drums, to be honest. But yeah, at the time I was telling everybody, I'm a pop jazz R&B artist. I
Right.
rap pretty standard-ish. Um,
Pretty
but
standard. I like that.
standard-ish.
Yeah, I understand.
Um, but uh, but yeah, yeah, that's what I would say at the time. But now it's more like, um, after I released my latest project, well, actually my most recent latest projects, one of them, Perplexed. With that, I tell everybody, oh, I'm an electropop alternative artist with hints of jazz, classical folk with more of an electronic twist. It's like it'd be a little bit of a mouthful. I mean, even when saying I'm electropop and alternative R&B, and then when loop chords say, "Oh, I live loop," basically, kind of all the genres mix, but mostly
Yeah,
pop R&B. So it's like
that's funny.
I'd be a bit scattered like every time, but I think generally I would still probably say pop jazz R&B.
I want to go back to what you got your degree in.
Hmm.
I have a acquaintance of mine that writes for movies out in California, but do you still want to do that? I mean, that's what your degree in, is scoring for movies or TV
Yeah.
shows.
It's still something that I still want to do. It's the long-term goal. I mean, I know in my heart of hearts that I still want to continue being an artist. I still want to continue being a performer. I still want to make jazz, R&B, pop, in that field, but I know for the rest of my life until I mean, pun intended, decompose, um, that like being a composer and composing for film and TV shows, like that's something that I want to do for the rest of my life.
I'm
Every
just,
every day I wake up thankful that I was raised classically.
so yeah, so let's talk about your parents. Are they musicians? Or they have any kind of musical talent?
No?
No.
Well, they'd be a little shy. They could sing a little bit.
Right. I
They
gotcha.
they sing around the house,
Yeah.
when some tunes are being played. And my mom, at one point, she sung alto in a church choir. She was the one holding the tambourine. I mean, they both got a good sense of rhythm. They both have a good sense of
That
rhythm.
is funny. I like
But
that.
as far as professionally,
Yeah.
no, I'm the only musician in my family and extended family.
And also, what did they listen to when you were growing up? What was their
Ah,
genre?
see, they put me on everything pre 1999. So all the different pop, R&B, disco, rock, everything like
Yeah.
pre 1999. Yeah.
So if you're going to an era and you're
Hmm.
listening to R&B, what do you listen? Who's your favorite R&B artist? Let's say from the 70s or 80s.
I don't like answering these questions because I just, I just love it all. You
Yeah, I
know,
understand. I understand.
I mean, if I had to pick a favorite, have to be Stevie Wonder.
Mm.
Has to be Stevie Wonder.
Have you been approached by labels, record labels? Have anybody come to you and said, "Hey, we're interested in signing you"? Or
Only once, and it was during my high school years. I was signed to an independent label out in Dallas called State Fair Records.
Mm.
And with them, I had produced my third studio album, The Whole Truth. And, it was an experience. I got to see what it was like to be an artist signed to a
Mhm.
label, getting performances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm, But I think a few years after I had released that album, I think sometime in 2022, I believe I had left the label, but since then I've been completely independent. No label, no manager, no like distribution deal or anything, just completely independent. When it's like when people do listen to some of my songs, it I mostly get that reaction of I've been through that before.
Mm.
Like they'll point out like a lyric or even just like the song itself and be like, I relate to this.
Yeah.
That or really mostly from my loopcore songs that I have out. Um, I've had people tell me, um, like your music has kept me uplifted. Your music has got me out of a rock and a hard place. It's main like the reaction is mainly on relatability.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's when you know you've done good. What's your goals in the next this coming year and after? I mean, other than manifesting a tour, you
Yeah.
you you got a new project. I know you don't mention, but you got a new project coming out. But what's your immediate and kind of long term?
So immediate. I believe in about a week from now, I will be performing at a convention in Anaheim, California,
Cool.
called with a full band. It'll be a 10 piece, including myself. Immediately after that, I'll be also performing, but at the same time co-hosting an after show, like an after party show
Hmm.
for NAM as well. I have like a
Oh, that's
bill.
right. You're going to NAMM.
I am going
Yeah. Yeah.
I always wanted to go to NAM. I've heard so many great things about NAM and like being
Hmm.
like the vendors and like seeing all the brands, like meeting other musicians. And last year I finally got to go and it was so surreal. I got to see like some of my friends perform. I got to meet some fellow content creators that I've known online for like the past year or
That's
two.
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it was also weird because I mean, I do live in the day and age where like, you're a content creator, you're gonna meet friends online.
Sure.
But to finally meet them in person, like it was so heartwarming. And then when I had left NAM, I was like, you know what? Next year, I'm performing.
And there you go. There you are.
Yep.
So
But
when you get, if you haven't already been asked, when you started signing autographs, you let me know. Just text me, Rick. I got an autograph. I got several. I've been standing here because I'm going to be watching a movie one day. I know it's your credit's going to come up and your name's going to be on there, and I'm going like,
hey,
hey, look who wrote the
we're
music for it.
we're
Or some
manifesting.
TVs. If you could get a gig, it's a tough gig, but if you could get a gig on a TV show that you could do it for like 10 years, where you're the one who writes all the music for it all the time, that'd be a pretty solid gig. And then you're sitting, you won't be, you'll be living in your mansion somewhere, having people wait on you.
Yeah.
And people, all right, so last question I want to ask you before I get off here.
Mhm.
How many people, manufacturers or brands have contacted you about using their equipment? Have you had people approach you and go, do you want to try some of our stuff?
In person, no, but through like online interaction, yes. Um, oh my gosh. Wait, why am I forgetting? So this mic is actually one of them.
Okay, who's
I
that made by?
I received it through JBL. It's a
Oh,
AKG.
it's an AKG. Okay.
Yeah. My current studio monitors, Atom Audio T8Vs. And then, oh, I think two more. This Micro Freak
Oh, that's cool.
synthesizer I got from Arturia, and then my acoustic guitar that I got from Yamaha.
And it's your guitar's your electric's a Yamaha, is it not, or something else?
My electric is a Epiphone,
Epiphone.
semi hollow body. Yeah.
And your bass?
My bass is Ibanez,
Ibanez.
and it's a short stock because I got no stretch. I barely have stretch on a regular bass.
Well,
So
I don't know. You're doing all this stuff with the keyboards and
no,
no.
the keyboard, yeah, I have a little bit of a stretch, but with bass, it's like
Oh yeah.
I gotta have a short stock.
And you got to build up. That's the other thing too. You got to build up those calluses.
Exactly.
Remember the first time you start playing and you're like, this is not going to work. My fingers are killing me.
Yeah, I don't miss that feeling.
I wait for you to be playing and somebody wants to give you strings. I can't believe nobody's contracted said, here's some strings for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're more of a visual keyboard person anyway.
Call me for keys and
Yeah. Would you like to try one of our baby grants? Oh, I don't know. Okay, you can send it in to me. I'll try it. Do I have to send it back? No, if you don't like it, we don't want it back. And so, well, all I want to tell you is you're very talented. I thank you so much for talking to me.
No, thank
Love
you
your
for having
music.
You think you're really something now, keeping us on the down low so nobody can figure out I was your first. You don't wanna remember how I kept you uplifted and I just couldn't allow you to be at your worst. I'm gonna keep it honest, I'm feeling toxic. You didn't treat me right, so she can have you, yeah, yeah. Have yourself where you weren't for me, and I bet it's hard to forget all about me, 'cause she ain't me, yeah, yeah. Not else of what I was for you. We ain't going back, I'm taking off my mask, I'm playing pretending, and I'm playing games, yeah. Ooh, you can move on as you want to, but you could never make me jealous. You'll never make me jealous. Ooh, you think she's so perfect, but that you're a little too selfish, a little too selfish. But tell me if I remember how it's better, baby. You can boast that I want, but you know you'll never face me. Oh, you can move on as you want to, but you could never make me jealous. You'll never make me jealous, jealous, jealous. You'll never make me jealous, jealous, jealous. She's a girlfriend, but I know you're thinking otherwise. Wanna be womanizer, you need her for your lonely nights. I don't play desperate, I don't chase a silly fights. Now that I'm classier, and now I play nice. I ain't rolling dice, I don't gamble in love, now I play right. How's your new life? Found a new light. Does she feel good? Does she burn bright? I'ma keep it honest, I'm feeling toxic. You didn't treat me right, so she can't have it, yeah, yeah. Have yourself where you weren't for me, and I bet it's hard to forget all about me, 'cause she ain't me, yeah, yeah, yeah. None else of what I was for you. Ooh, you can move on as you want to, but you could going back, I'm taking off my mask, I'm playing pretend that